Deep-seated in the southwestern Pacific is Papua New Guinea. With its rich biodiversity and cultural heritage, it is populated with nearly 8.5 million people, with 18% in cities. Most people live in traditional social groups based on farming and religion, with 95% of the population being affiliated with Christianity at some level. These societies and clans within the 22 provinces that make up the country are highly valued by the Papua New Guinea Constitution, playing a significant social role in local and national community life. As one of the most rural countries in the world, connectivity in Papua New Guinea is hard due to the mountainous terrain across the country from the Western Highlands to the east headland of the peninsula into the ocean, with hundreds of offshore islands. The 700-kilometre Highlands Highway piggybacks the New Guinean Highlands and is a robust lifeline for Highland villages to convene and commute in daily business. 852 known languages are indigenous to customary communities, approximately 7,000 speakers per language. The 4 official languages of the country include English, Tok Pisin, Hirimotu, and Papua New Guinea Sign Language, which belongs to one of the largest language groups, about 30,000 deaf people. Papua New Guinea Sign Language, as an indigenous language in its own right for deaf people to break away from Melanesian Sign Language, was endorsed in 2015 under the National Disability Policy. The Papua New Guinea Sign Language Dictionary, still in its formative stages, will soon be released to replace the current Melanesian Sign Language Dictionary, which is heavily accentuated with Melanesian Sign Language and Signed English. The dictionary project is a community-based collaborative project with at least 4 stakeholders: the deaf community, Callan Services National Unit, Stretch Productions and the University of Cologne, Germany. The research team is undertaken by Professor Marie Carla Danny Adon and Dr. Melanie Brook. The network of Callan Services for persons with disabilities in collaboration with churches, non-government organisations and development partners provides inclusive education and community-based rehabilitation services in 19 inclusive education resource centres, which underpin the National Education Board's Special Education Policy. Over 440 deaf children access education, many through Target Schools for the Deaf. The Target Schools for the Deaf house many of the 17 deaf education resource units in the country. These children receive specialist education by teachers of the deaf, assistant teachers and educational interpreters. Callan Services National Unit is the lead and coordinating agency of the network of Callan Services and works with its partners to assist in facilitating this work. The challenges of identifying a deaf child at an early age, getting specialist health support for the child if needed, and travelling to the nearest inclusive education support centre are widespread for many families, especially in rural areas. Even so, the philosophy and implementation of inclusive education policies can be exigent, given the limited resources and personnel in effectively meeting the needs of the child and family.
I'm born normal. After 3 years now, I'm got sick. I'm got sick na mi black semi kolonga. St. Joseph Rural Hospital on Mingedi. Dr. Jaworski, Dr. Young, emi to mi black him can track long, help him, save him life long him. But then him by time him come up baby, and by time him by up talk na. So him talk long and him come up. Em come up baby, so mi put him long, bilum. So some time me see him go to classroom. The school one time all normal beginning. But some person all beginning make him kind of send this la kind beginning and he was in different lo beginning. Time all coincide all by funny na lab long him. This la kind so. And then me feel him me sorrow long na me. Kiss him back again. Me don't see him in school. Narapla lo nipet. Concern lo mi, big pla concern lo mi long. Life long en. I must make him work money. I must have him some money long yet because all the some money. I mean I've asked him some friend, relative lo mi pla, one talk lo mi pla long. Support him life long. I made by making work money. I made my cigar own house long him long. Look at him yet. Because this like in line now, all stuff, you know, got one man or Mary, I'm a muscle. Support him, now look at him. Because plant all good line, planting on good line too, stuff. Also, I'm this la people concerned, me long, life long. Beginning girl blow me nibet.
Deaf people are perceived as long, which means mentally retarded or depraved in talk Pishin. Lack of societal awareness of the culturally deaf community with a unique socio-linguistic identity has long stigmatised deaf people into an inherent sense of being ashamed. Hence, loving care and empathy is required more than ever to help deaf people integrate into society as full citizens. Families who wish for their deaf child to be able to function in local community life often experience a common financial hardship in relation to sending the child to school if they live far away from the specialist educational services.
Most of those deaf children, they are living in the villages, and some of them even cannot afford. And then also for the geographical location, they cannot make it from that location to the nearest deaf unit. So they kind of depending on us, asking us, is there any possibility for a bus fare where my child can go and get the services? And then we are kind of telling them, no, we don't have these funds. So is it possible for you to bring your child from that location to nearest to where the resource center is so that he or she can get help? But it's not working because they cannot bring it because town, the living cost is expensive, so they cannot bring their child to stay with another parent or family to receive the nearest service. So it's a big problem now.
Here at the sub-center, we have a lot of problems that we are facing right now. When the deafs are identified, they are at home, and for us to go and reach for them, to help them, it's a little bit difficult because sub-center is have a least staffs here. We have manpower, less of manpower, financial, and also transport to be provided and help us to access daily deafs and identified. But the most better idea that I normally have is to get identified and bring them to live in the Callan Service because we have the facilities here. We have a dormitory which we can cater for them and help them to get into the system of the service that we are providing.
Deaf children can relate to each other well through similar life experiences and do maintain lifelong and meaningful friendships. Where there is a critical mass of deaf children in one place, for example at a deaf education resource unit or at a school where there are many deaf children, they can successfully understand the world around them as visual learners.
Meeting sample or silip long way all come all got meeting was beginning lo me got thinking lo all must get me looks away lo was like lo go to school like lo line so go lo elementary stuff close to lo me go all mangi all yet go play and all go to all right or sawe all certain idea all go come time no sawe lo idea so go lo science school all come all sawe lo sign lo all working sign good. Me go line me to one blood time me go last year 2016 and me spend him 1 whole hour blo me lo Patima. All line him good okay ta narala line him narala sawe narala make him narala sawe okay ta sawe good through. Na me too me go start lo 1 whole day lo this lap 8 o'clock go in up lo 12 o'clock me sawe lo little sign. Now me line him picnic lo me na stop. So sample stop him all yet all sign mangi all yet go school all yet. All by sawe too. Teach up all by teach him all go complete him uni all. All by sawe.
Once the Papua New Guinea Sign Language Dictionary and Grammar Text comes out and associated teaching resources, it will help families to better communicate with their deaf child at home and teach them essential skills in local customary life. Families and all in the village or local community will benefit from mutual support and learning from one another through parents' associations.
Pignin blomia olio pasta biar sol mi traimbes lo pudim all school na pignin blo all narla ya all ngolo school na mi pignin blomi all ngolo school ya mino sai same lo ngolo school work or school meeting e mi sai go na all narla all ngo mi sai go tok sabelol emi a pignin blomi all ngolo school na blo yubla no pudim lo school yubla pudim all magilo school mi sai to se.
Home signs greatly influence and shape the early development of a sign language, as evident in this family of 4 deaf children, and regional variations are expected, just the same as local dialects. The youngest deaf sister, Ina, attends the local mainstream school where her uncle teaches.
Ina is a difficult child because I don't have a sign language with me, so I cannot connect with her. At the moment, I want to help her, but how can I communicate with Ina? Because I don't have the materials where I will teach her and then she knows the signs and then I'll connect with her. But at the moment, no, I don't have any connection with that small girl. That small girl doesn't have any connections with me. Sorry, now it's term 3 test. This is something that I'm facing in the classroom. When I teach the whole of the 70 kids in the classroom, 69 are the children who are right in the classroom. I know 70, but I don't have any proper connection with it. I know, because I don't have the teaching materials for the deaf children in my classroom.
Mainstream teachers will also benefit from the Papua New Guinea Sign Language Dictionary and Grammar text and from staff from IERCs with specialist teaching resources based on these. Educational interpreters bridge the gap wherever available. Many teachers of the deaf supplement with their capacity to facilitate communication support. Assistant teachers have a role in introducing Papua New Guinea Sign Language as a socio-cultural language. For this service to be fully developed and maintained, the Government of Papua New Guinea at national, province and district levels, non-government organisations, businesses and local communities will need to provide a lot of financial support for salaries and training. A residential school for the deaf at Mount Sion in Goroka has closed down, paving the way for the inclusive education ideology, where deaf children are being educated in a local school. But often schools are under-resourced, and teachers of the deaf would need to travel long distances for outreach services.
There's inclusive education stuff inside, or kissing sign language, all go through like this, but all no go in deep. All no go in deep lo sign language. So tamot sa help him all nara plot picking you sem disabled kind of sem, but tam or come lo this ones now. How long lo interpret him? Hard now almost so at least like partner one time lo help him some way to all can train him this lo early childhood teacher to this plan. Yeah.
Yeah, before I'm putting one in there, Bugimolo, how basta in the school and Mgupla, Molo, this life so. Now you allow some finish here. Or sometimes hard to you about to move round the walk at up corner. Lo dis last tintin os mi lagi mosem jubla bugimol ken na. Jubla sabe lo sign blow na osem bai pati chimole jubla sabe. Ol tichan osem ol gupla tichan ol sabe lo oliet. Lo pati chim osem bia gupla lo na. Ole bahat ya. O bales o tichimol tu e sabe. Lo dis last tintin osem mogut bai pa putimol inside now bai balaini lo all sign now something now sabe good now can go out to school lo narabla school number 1 em satin now so mi trove cambe so you must come up in this la em tintin lo mi am go sen
Esa inclusive teacher lo classroom mi tok. Okay. Mr. Looking was em hard lo mi sana tok na tu prasumatin si down lo mi sign one thing Mr. Looking was okay. So mi teach mol nara pro pikini na tu pikini start hai mi sapai ni hard. Osem time tu em nara prasatik because inside lo classroom em mi pro lo time me one subject finish igolo nara subject finish igolo nara ken. So it's like time start here osem igat mina play explain now. Em is gonna explain him em clear nara mange stuff nara enol boy blamier.
Deaf Education Resource Units at target schools, which forge a partnership with the network of Callan Services, bring deaf children from nearby villages to a specialist classroom with a hearing teacher of the deaf, usually, and very often a deaf assistant teacher. Bicultural and bilingual teaching processes have proved to be complicated when teachers are not yet fully skilled in Papua New Guinea Sign Language or have not yet been shown the best strategies to use to be able to teach deaf people literacy skills efficiently.
The barriers that I have, especially in teaching, is that especially with the sign language, it is very difficult to get my students to understand how to read especially and also how to write. They find it very difficult, and I also, because some of the words that I even do not know the actual sign language to sign to them, which I normally spell out the words to them. Those are some of the barriers where I face when I go through teaching the deaf students.
The network of Callan Services has greatly increased the number of children who are identified deaf and are accessing inclusive education practices with individual education plans to support their learning goals either at a target school or at the Deaf Education Resource Unit. More deaf children pass compulsory grade tests in order to complete their secondary education and improve their chance to study further or gain employment. The greater progress of deaf students has proved a great blessing for the young women and men involved, and at the same time, it has provided a huge challenge for the Inclusive Education Resource Centre teachers, mainstream teachers in secondary schools and technical schools, and tertiary education lecturers.
Now to let me come in. Now to come in, but me believe em can catch up. Em can catch up, na me can. Time me school yet em can lining. Me like it's a very must lining PNG sign language. Na emi must read. Na emi must write. Na emi must work money one kind of all Arab la Papua New Guinea also be harem na work one kind em must one kind as all. Me hamo mas lo mila me tu mila lining tu na. Me can communicate with Zebedi, me can understand me, na me can understand him too. Yes, me how much suppose me plama Pablo is lo deaf beginning, he can got association, and me black and serum idea na tintin, good pla. Lo support him is lo beginning blo me pla. You me can discuss na raising money, na ask him all government lo chipini come inside na you can help him. Lo is la kind road meeting about good pla.
Deaf school leavers may often yearn for enhanced social relationships within the deaf community. In order for the community to advocate for their own rights and for a better quality of life through membership with World Federation of the Deaf and establishment of provincial deaf associations which could become members of a national and coordinated body, Papua New Guinea Deaf Association is required. A unified deaf community leads to positive outcomes. Their empowerment to prompt social change, their boosted self-esteem that they can do as much as a hearing person, and their rightful place in society as the voice of deaf people. Deaf people talk with their hands and see with their eyes.